What up, everybody? In Ghost Season 3, we were introduced to a billionaire named RSJ. RSJ did not come from privilege like the Westons. He's a self-made man who started at the bottom and had to work his way to get to where he is. RSJ grew up so poor that when his father passed away, the only thing he inherited was good examples. When RSJ was young, everyone said he would amount to nothing and ended up being a no-good petty criminal like his dad. RSJ's father was a petty criminal who ran numbers. He was most likely a man who could have been very successful if given the right opportunity. This is part of why RSJ had a soft spot for those who are not given opportunities in life. RSJ was not given opportunities and had to create his own path. He told Tariq if people judged him by what he was doing at age 19, they wouldn't even give him a chance. So with all that being said, do you really think RSJ did what he had to do to get to where he is, to sit back and lose his fortune in a Ponzi scheme like it's all good? RSJ, being a billionaire, obviously didn't lose everything in the Ponzi scheme. I know he didn't invest 100% of his wealth into Western Holdings. He didn't get this far by being stupid. But I do know that he invested enough into Western Holdings to become a limited partner. So it's safe to say he easily lost a few $100 million in this transaction. And keep in mind that RSJ initially turned down Lucas Weston and said he was going to concentrate on his real estate portfolio. But Lucas Weston grew up rich and spoiled and doesn't take no for an answer. So he blamed his new intern Tariq for RSJ not signing with Western Holdings. Then he manipulated Tariq using Power Law 31, control the options, get others to play with the cards you deal. He went on to tell Tariq that this internship might not be for him, and if he wants to keep his internship, he will need to sign RSJ. If Tariq lost this internship, it would set him back from graduating an entire semester. And he already has the maximum workload, so he could graduate ASAP and get his trust. This was Tariq's weakness and easiest way to control him. It is likely that Lucas and Braden discussed how important this internship was to Tariq when Lucas agreed to let Tariq come on board as an intern. So Lucas used this to his advantage, also implementing Power Law 33, discover each man's thumbscrew. So at this point, Tariq was desperate to do anything he had to do to sign RSJ. But Tariq's greatest power skill at his young age is Power Law 13. When asking for help, appeal to people's self-interest, never their mercy or gratitude. So Tariq found out that he had something that RSJ wanted, the QCP building. This was the only thing standing in the way of RSJ bulldozing the entire lot and creating a mall in Queens. And RSJ had been waiting a long time to build this mall. In Power episode 610, when Ghost went to purchase the QCP from his uncle Gabe, which was a bar and a small apartment building at the time, Gabe said he couldn't sell this place just so he can tear it down. It wasn't until Ghost told Gabe what he was going to build on the property and that he would dedicate it to Raina when Gabe agreed to sell the property to Ghost. So we can assume that RSJ has offered to buy the building from Gabe several times, even double or maybe triple the value, but Gabe refused. Now we have to assume that there was some kind of sentimental connection to RSJ in that building. Out of all the buildings in Queens, it had to be that particular lot where RSJ built his mall. Most likely RSJ either grew up in that same apartment building, or there's even a chance that his father is none other than Curtis St. Patrick and he's Ghost's brother, most likely a half-brother if they are. RSJ brought up Ghost multiple times to Tariq, even though he never referred to him as Ghost, but always referred to him as your father. One time he even told Tariq that he would be lying if he said he wasn't familiar with his story and his father. So Tariq ended up successfully signing RSJ by moving his trust over to Western Holdings, including the QCP building, which he found a clause in his trust that he could sell it as long as it was sold at higher than market value. Then the money would go back into his trust until he graduated. Then Braden found out that Western Holdings is a Ponzi scheme and that Tariq Kane and RSJ had been scammed by Lucas Weston. Tariq told this to RSJ, who blackmailed Lucas, who agreed to pay their money back over time. Keep in mind when Tariq initially told this to RSJ, RSJ called Tariq shady. How would he know this about Tariq? They don't have that kind of relationship. RSJ was just assuming Tariq was like his father, and everyone knew that Ghost was as shady as they come. So it was all good until Rashad Tate dropped the bomb to the SEC that Western Holdings is a Ponzi scheme. At that point, since RSJ was a limited partner, they even wanted to question him as well. But one of the benefits of having your own personal jet is the ability to hop on a jet and get out of the country at a moment's notice. And Tariq told RSJ that he would handle it, but he didn't have to. Braden caught his first body and forged a suicide note where Lucas accepted the full responsibility for the Ponzi scheme. When bringing up Ghost to Tariq one time, RSJ said, "It sounds like he had two sides, a public and a private." And Tariq replied, "Don't we all?" So now that RSJ has lost a significant amount of money, we are going to finally get to see the other side of RSJ. We already got a preview of it in the meeting when he blackmailed Lucas, when he smacked the table and yelled, "Enough!" In Power, we saw Milan, who posed as Dean, force Ghost and Tommy to work for him basically as slaves until they killed him. Ghost was quoted saying this about Milan: "He might be the most dangerous man I've ever met." Will we see a similar situation play out with RSJ when he forces Tariq and Braden to work for him, and we find out his other side is a demon? When first introduced to RSJ, he was talking about economy of scale, and he told Tariq you can make way more from 1,000 low-end customers than you could from 100 high-end customers. This is a key principle to being successful in the drug game. And first, Tommy was telling Claudia that they had to make Dahlia more affordable so everyone could afford it. When Claudia resisted, Tommy told her he was giving her a street education, PhD level stuff. When my twin was in the game, this was the principle he used. He didn't have to use guns and violence, either though he stayed strapped and wasn't going to let nobody punk him. It was all about offering a better deal and economy of scale. So he would know the prices around the city, and he also knew his clientele. So with the customers that had no other connects, he would charge 10 to 20% higher than his regular price. And customers who had options, he would charge so low he might only be making a 10% profit. But for him, it was more about taking somebody else's business and getting that money in his pocket so he could move his work quicker. And his regular prices was about 10 to 20% lower than the normal street value. So with all that being said, I believe RSJ at least got his initial investment for his wealth from drug money. And there's a good chance he may also still be a very high-ranking drug lord. One thing before I go to keep an eye out for next season is the Italian tech company that Western Holdings invested in. If this company blows up, it may redeem Western Holdings, either though I have no idea how that stuff actually works. I'm old school like Monet and Tommy Egan. There's no way those Wall Street crooks would have ever got a dime from me. And there you have it. Leave your thoughts, theories, and predictions in the comments.